So my name is Mark Walsh from Embodied Yoga Principles, and this is a video on what's necessary to do transformational work. So if you want to do deep work or transformational work, there's certain things that are required. This is a guide primarily for yoga teachers who want to work in this way. However, the exact same, when I'm working with life coaches or business trainers or whatever, the exact same things apply. So the metaphor we use is the container. We often talk about the container of our courses. So the container is the structures and boundaries and care which provide what we might call a safe place to do the work. Yeah. So if you're worried, let's say a tiger jumped in this room now, I'm not going to be thinking, oh, that's interesting, and how do I react as a person? How can I develop myself? I'm just going to be going, oh my God, a tiger, run away, it's too scary. The same as if, I don't know, someone started shouting at me, someone burst into the room and started shouting at me in Russian right now. I'm in Moscow today. I'd be like, oh, it's very difficult to work with that if it's too overstimulating. So we need that, we might call safe place. Now, this isn't the sort of over PC safe places that become famous in universities. I just mean non-abusive. The key thing here is choice. So the key thing in this is that people are consenting to what they're doing. So they have to know what they're getting into up front before the class and at the beginning of class. And at any point, they can say, you know what, that's not going to be for me. So if I'm in a yoga class where I have to keep doing postures, I'm not allowed to rest at any point, I'm not allowed to go get water, the classic Bikram thing, that's not cool, right? I've actually lost some of my choice, some of my consent, some of my freedom. That doesn't feel good to people. Obviously, the ethical sense, the ethical container, there's a basic ethical frame that's being kept by the teacher. The facilitator, I think, is absolutely essential as well for people feeling safe. You can kind of think of the container as needing some porousness, but also some boundaries. And this is, I see, often done quite badly in yoga. I'll give you an example. I was teaching at a yoga festival on Saturday, so a few days ago, and some people came 25 minutes late. And I had the same experience at yoga festivals in England. And I said, you know what, really sorry, you can't come in. And just held a firm boundary and said, we've already started now. And it's for several reasons. One is because I just didn't want to repeat the beginning because there was a sequence to what I was doing. And secondly, because I wanted the people in there, we didn't want the container too loose. Just if you're in trainings where people are just coming and going, it doesn't really work. You need some boundaries. It's like when you work with kids, they actually feel happier when there are some boundaries. And I know a lot of my yoga teacher students and friends find this a little hard to do. I was actually told off at a festival once, said, you should have let people in. I was like, no, it's no good for anyone who's in that workshop already. Give a bit of leeway, but there has to be some boundaries there. And that could be physical as well. That could be like covering mirrors or closing doors so that it's not kind of leaky, we might say, is the metaphor for the container there. It's why I don't like members of staff, say on a big training I'm doing, sort of leaving early, because as soon as one leaves, everybody else starts to mentally leave. Obviously, the absolute basis of transformational work, I'd say, is commitment and mindfulness. So we need to be fully present. That's why, phones off would be a kind of common thing I'd ask for, and asking people to put in place beforehand what they need to be as fully present as possible. That might be like travel arrangements that have already been arranged, for example. Sometimes I make jokes. I say, take your hands and grab yourself. This is where you are. This is where you are. So mindfulness is an absolute foundation. Of course, the last one there, the next one there, commitment. So that which we commit to can be transformational. Marriage would be another example. A martial art saying, right, this is what I'm going to do every night for 2 weeks. This is what I'm really going to go into. I'm going to really immerse myself in it. That sense of commitment's vital. And to get that, people need to be motivated. So in my workshops, I'll say, why are you here? What have you come for? It might be the wrong reason. I might say, maybe it's not the place for you. It might be, okay, what do you care about? And really connecting what you care about, it can be done verbally or just in people's minds, to why they're in the class. Because if they're not motivated, why would you do difficult transformational work? I would say for transformational work, it's possible to do on your own, but it's really helpful to do with a teacher and with community. The yin and the yang of challenge and support. So it needs to be that sense of care and safety, that sense of non-judgmentalism, that sense of I can be myself here, I'm not going to be judged for my ethnicity or sexuality or whatever it is. That's the safety and care aspect. But there also needs to be challenge. There also needs to be a sense of like, okay, these are the standards, boundaries, or maybe saying to a student, that's not good enough, you can do better than that. That yang side is also really important, and I think for deep transformational work you need the yin side and the yang side. So one addition is also to give people predictability. So one thing that creates a sense of safety is knowing what's coming up. So as a group leader, if you say, okay, we're here till 5, we're going to take a break at 3, and in the morning we're going to do this, in the afternoon we're going to do this, that predictability helps people trust you, creates this sense of safety so they can actually go deeper in the work. Yeah, so they're the main things in terms of giving people confidence, in terms of also to feel safe as well. I'd say being authoritative, knowing your subject, of course, and conveying that with confidence is really important for people. I've definitely noticed as I've done more of this work, people have gone deeper, quicker, and it's not just because techniques get better. It's because they go, okay, this guy's relaxed in it. He's been here before. He's done this. Sometimes I'm conveying authority quite deliberately in my posture. We have a posture for that anyway. Other times it's like I'm giving examples. Yeah, I'm saying when I work with this client or this time when I worked here, and they go, okay, this guy's experienced. Without being too boastful or spending too long on that, that can be very helpful to establish authority. And just in your being, people will pick up on that. The sense of care and authority in your being. So yeah, they're the main things in order to do transformational work. There's others we could add to that, but so yeah, I think it's worth looking at. Do you have all those things as a teacher of yoga or coaching or whatever you're doing? So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, you can subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. More importantly, however, get the newsletter. So the newsletter you do, is that right? In the box here? Okay. So why you would want the newsletter, so you hear about the best videos, so you actually ask me questions, you can reply to the newsletter, I'll reply. You can hear about events, teacher trainings, other things that are happening, and stay in touch more reliably. So newsletter there.